Well, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this radio program. Today we have a different topic altogether. But first, let's listen to a small little music ensemble that will give you an idea of what we are talking about today. For the keen listeners out there, you might have heard that was Lithuanian. And that is going to be the topic that we're talking about today. During the era of Lithuania, a lot has been written, but some of the most influential people that has written the most in Lithuania are actually German Lithuanians or Prussian Lithuanians from the area of Lithuania Minor. Now these people are quite interesting. They were very much focused in journalism and writing. They had publications, newspapers, which they wrote about all areas of Lithuania. But the interesting part about them, most of them during the 19th century didn't even live in Lithuania, because most of Lithuania Minor was in German territory, near Königsberg. This is not the first time I'm actually speaking about Lithuania. I have done it before with a certain Ignas when I talk about Red Flood. But today we're actually going to talk about another character, someone who is in many ways as important as Ignas, a certain Vydunas. This man came from the city of Tilce, which is the capital of Lithuania Minor. Today the city is called Sovetsk, part of the Kaliningrad Oblast. No longer Lithuanian, no longer important. Vydūnas spent most of his life in the city, being a teacher, music writer, publisher, artist, you name it. He was part of the cultural sphere of the city. He has written more than 12 philosophical works, more than 30 dramas, and many historiographical works. But Vydūnas did everything he could to write and revive the Lithuanian idea. Vydūnas was persecuted, thrown into prison, and in 1944, Tilce, the entire main capital of Lithuania Minor, was evacuated westwards to Germany, to the western parts of Germany. Vydūnas chose cultivation of a moral revival of the nation as the most sustainable way, in search of a way which could make the oppressed Lithuanians resist national subjugation. The thinker urged his fellow countrymen to advance their culture, to look for support in national values, to seek human perfection, to grow from inside, to morally suppress their oppressors. This attitude, born of daily affairs, conditioned the humanist specifics and problems of Vydūnas' philosophy, namely to reveal and substantiate the essence of humanness, to show the ways leading to it, and to disclose the nation's role in advancement of humanness and the context of being. In his opinion, the new worldview will stimulate and subdue the national awareness of his compatriots. It has this potential since its roots reach far back into the ancient times, and are had also by ancient Lithuanians, expressed in a different form. The reviving nation should actually relocate the essence of the ancestral worldview. In this sense, Vydūnas was a kind of reformer himself, who tried to develop a non-orthodox attitude to his countrymen. Without urging the believers to give up Protestantism or Catholicism, Vydūnas strove to imbue in their consciousness the awareness that these religions, likewise all the rest, should be treated as one of the many forms of expression of the universal theist worldview, acceptable for all mankind. Okay, this has become a bit preachy, but I will summarize now. Vydūnas was very important for Lithuania. He was one of the main people of the national revival that came to Lithuania because they were being subjugated by the Russians. They had some time where they were independent, but this independence was just filled with fear of once again becoming part of Russia. They wanted to be themselves, and Vydunas was one of the people who created a philosophy and focused on the culture of the people as much as possible to understand themselves. I mean, Vydunas' philosophy is also think of the people beforehand, think of the ancient Lithuanians, do not forget about the ancient Lithuanians, and sort of create yourself from who you are, and then create an identity based upon ancient Lithuanians and the essence of being a Lithuanian, I should say. The interesting part, and something I need to point out, whenever you talk about essence of a people, as I pointed out many times before, paganism comes into play. He's not a, well, he is a pagan, but he, as you heard in the end part, he doesn't renounce Abrahamic religions such as Protestantism or Catholicism. It's completely okay as long as you don't forget that you are Lithuanian and you sort of accept God and yourself. But he did push, well, he didn't push, he did create paganism as well. The idea of Romuva, which is Lithuanian paganism. And this paganism is inspired by and created by Vydūnas because it goes back to thinking of former Lithuanians, like what about the Lithuanians before they became Christians? How are their essence? How are they as people? What can we learn from them? We should mimic their rituals, their traditions, and their songs, and create new songs based upon it to understand who we are. A lot of Lithuanians still viewed his philosophy as important. You don't need to become a pagan, but you just need to understand yourself, and many did. And Vydūnas became as important that they actually had him on their currency for a while.